this episode of WGTV, the Prosper Education Foundation is helping students get the tools they need to bring their creative ideas to life. One family shares their journey through a cancer diagnosis, and through one player's struggle, Walnut Grove girls soccer brings home an area championship. These stories and more on this episode of WGTV.
Good afternoon, Wildcats, and thank you for tuning into this episode of WGTV. Live from the Grove, I'm Kendall Barnes.
And I'm Tyler Medeiros.
We have many exciting stories coming up, but first, Tyler's going to catch you up on what's been happening at the Grove. Tyler?
Thanks, Kendall. Next week is Student Appreciation Week, and Walnut Grove is celebrating with a surprise Spirit Week. On Monday, every lunch will have Minute to Win It games. Tuesdays, lunch karaoke. Wednesdays, extended lunch with popsicles and inflatables. Thursdays, chalk drawing outside during lunch. And Friday is swig bar and friendship bracelets during lunch. And on the topic of school festivities, tomorrow is the Prosper ISD Hope Walk. The event will consist of a group walk to raise awareness for mental health, along with guest speakers Trent Johnson and Tim Holt of Dude Perfect. The walk is tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. For more information on parking, seating, and the walking route, scan this QR code.
The Prosper Education Foundation is making a difference in CTE programs. Christopher Munchmeyer has the story on how these grants are being put to use for students across the campus.
Aperture ring kind of.
Every CTE field gets a generous budget from the district, but sometimes it's not enough. The Prosper Education Foundation is a nonprofit organization that raises money through donations. These donations then go to CTE teachers in the form of grants.
So the money that we used for our grant were for these cinema lenses here. We didn't have any prime lenses. Prime lenses give us a lower aperture, which gives us really shallow depth of field.
These lenses have become an essential tool for students. Just like filmmakers need the right equipment to bring their vision to life, other programs rely on specialized tools to turn their ideas into reality.
If a student can dream up how they want to execute a project, we want to have on hand as much of the materials and the tools and resources that they need to execute that dream. So the grant really helps us support them.
Students in the Innovation Lab go through consumable materials quickly, so having access to a constant supply is crucial. The grant helps keep resources stocked and ready for use, improving programs across the campus.
So what we purchased was an electric upright string bass. And that allows us to, when we go play at events around the community, to not have to take one of the full string basses.
This instrument allows the orchestra to bring their music to the community with ease. And supporting innovation in all classrooms, the Prosper Education Foundation is helping students and teachers reach their full potential. For WGTV, I'm Christopher Munchmeyer.
Teachers interested in applying for these grants for their students can visit the Prosper Education Foundation website for more information.
In Texas news, the measles outbreak has continued to grow, with 327 cases being reported. The cases have now also spread to 2 other states, New Mexico and Oklahoma. According to the Texas Tribune, most of the cases are unvaccinated, school-aged children. In brighter news, you might have to go a little slower on Preston and 380 soon. The Texas Department of Transportation, TxDOT, has recommended that the city of Prosper lowers the speed limits from 55 to 50. The town council approved the change during their February 25th meeting, and TxDOT plans on installing the new signs themselves.
Cancer can uproot someone's entire life, and this rang true for one student at Walnut Grove. Blake Chalmo has the story on one student who fought the illness.
It was really hard to stay positive. You know, I was always angry. I was angry that I had cancer in the first place.
Cancer can consume someone's entire life, and for one student, it did. Whitaker Motes, a freshman at Walnut Grove, was diagnosed with lung cancer mid-January of this year and has finally beaten it after 2 grueling months.
Mucoepidermoid carcinoma. It's very rare, is what my oncologist told me. 55 people a year get it. They took the main tumor out of my lung. They had to give me chest tubes because they had to, stitch up my organs and muscles and stuff.
Doctors went through a lengthy and important procedure on Whitaker's back, shifting his ribs and inserting tubes into his chest to drain fluid from his lungs. It was a brutal operation, and in turn, led him to a long recovery process.
Something that you never, as a parent, want to have to hear that your kid has cancer. We were going to get through it, and he was going to be okay. Trying to tell myself that he was going to be okay, but never really knowing.
Wood's classmates have been there for him through it all, and through Hope Squad, they're always giving their support and encouragement.
Well, one day in Hope Squad, we were writing notes for each other as a class to get to know each other, stuff like that, get connections. And I wanted to do WIT because of his diagnosis and because he was my good friend. And I wrote this really long note that he loved and made him look happy.
Whitaker initially got the disease genetically and was the only one in his family to have it. The disease, for him, has changed his perspective on his entire life.
You gotta appreciate all the little things in life, because at any moment you can get some sort of crazy illness or something life-threatening, and it can just all get taken away from you. Just kind of made me appreciate my surroundings a little more.
With no chance of the tumor growing back, Whitaker returned to school last Wednesday, grateful for a fresh start. For WGTV, I'm Blake Shalma.
Whit's story is a powerful reminder of the strength it takes to fight cancer. If you or someone you know is struggling with a serious illness, reach out, offer support, and never underestimate the value of community. Moving on to sports, Olivia Cook is in studio with your sports recap. Olivia?
Thanks, Kendall. Swinging to action, Walnut Grove's golf team played in a tournament on Tuesday and Wednesday at Tanglewood Golf Course in Pottsboro. Over the course of the year, the boys have secured 3 first-place finishes and 4 top-3 finishes, with the girls having 2 first-place finishes. The Wildcats will play in districts from April 1st to the 3rd to advance to regionals. Switching gears from golf and into softball, the girls' most recent game was Wednesday night against Melissa, who was ranked #1 in the nation for softball. The girls were up 3-2 the night before until the game was postponed due to weather. When the game resumed, the Wildcats would unfortunately fall to the Cardinals 8-4. Last Friday was against the Anna Coyotes, and with the help of junior Kaylee James hitting a grand slam, resulted in a dominant 16-1 victory. The game before was yet again a display of dominance, this time against McKinney North. The girls rallied with home runs from senior Ella Burlage and senior Lindsay Hooker, pushing the Wildcats to a 16-0 win. Their game on the 14th was against Sherman. The girls immediately took control in the first inning and never looked back. The Wildcats combined for 4 total home runs, with 2 from junior Kaylee James, 1 from senior Lindsay Hooker, and 1 from freshman Vivian McKerman. These offensive efforts propelled the girls to a 15-1 win. Going from one diamond to the other, baseball started on the 14th with a game against the Denison Yellow Jackets. The bats on both sides were hot, but the Wildcats came out on top with a big 19-7 win. Their next game was against Frisco, which unfortunately resulted in an 8-4 loss. Their most recent game was against Lovejoy, which started on the 25th, but due to weather, wouldn't end until the next night. Unfortunately, the Wildcats would drop this game with a final score of 5-4. Boys soccer has been on fire and is currently ranked 5th in Texas, according to Max Preps. On March 14th, the boys had their final regular season game against Melissa, with 2 goals from junior Mason Kutch and 1 goal from senior Christian Ardelli. The Wildcats ended up winning that match 3-0. The boys' first playoff match was against Lufkin on March 20th. The boys dominated the Panthers with a statement 5-0 win. The boys' next game was March 26th against Centennial. Despite the game being pushed a day due to the weather, the boys persevered and continued the shutout streak with a 2-0 win. Their next game is tonight at 7:30 p.m. against WTY at Franklin Stadium in Dallas. Girls soccer has also been dominant, starting on the 14th against Melissa. A strong performance from the offense led the girls to a 5-0 win, finishing their regular season. Their first round of the playoffs was against the Mount Pleasant Tigers. The girls exceeded the expectations with a big 7-0 win. In round 2, the girls would face the Reedy Lions. Once again, the girls took home the win with a 2-0 victory. Their round 3 match is tonight at 5:30 p.m. against Midlothian at Franklin Stadium in Dallas. The girls' soccer team has been through a lot this season, but they still managed to claim the area championship. Camila Salinas has a story on how one player's struggle was a key lead to their big win.
Walnut Grove's girls' soccer team became area champions this Tuesday with their 2-0 win against Reedy High School. But for one player, the road to victory hasn't been easy. For For Ava Kim, playing midfield, soccer has always been her passion. But last May, the game she loves tested her like never before.
My knee caved in and I could feel my ACL snap, which was pretty scary, very discouraging too, because it's a really long recovery. It's usually 9 to 12 months.
The recovery process has been tough from the sidelines, and just as she was back in the game, she was out once again.
I tore a few ligaments while I was playing in Florida about a few weeks ago, and I've been out since, and I've just been working with the doctors trying to see what I need to do to recover.
Ava's return to the field was short-lived, but despite her setbacks, the team kept pushing forward through the soccer season.
Ava is great. Ava shows up to everything, no matter what, even if she's out. And she's always there to support her teammates. She supports them on the sideline. She cheers them on. She does the most that she can do with this injury. We have to persevere, stick together, get through it, and then somehow still get through it and pull out victories.
This support has paid off with the team winning the title of area champions.
Experience playoffs as one, I think that was really important for us to become closer. Being a second year, the first year is no one really knows how you play, or they just assume it's luck, but going in the second year, making playoffs again and going to second round, I think the girls show that they've put the work in.
For WGTV, I'm Camila Salinas.
Get in there, ball. Ava Kim's determination combined with her team's support show how overcoming multiple setbacks can ultimately lead to victory. That's all for your sports recap. For WGTV, I'm Olivia Cook. Back to you, Tyler and Kendall.
Thank you, Olivia. That's all we have for today's episode. For WGTV, I'm Tyler Medeiros.
And I'm Kendall Barnes. Thank you for watching, and remember, Wildcats, set the standard.